right now, as you listen to this, there is um, a very real statistical probability that half of the internet you just scrolled through this morning wasn't even created by a human being.
Right, yeah. Half the text, the images, all of it.
Yeah, half the videos. Just totally synthetic.
It's a staggering threshold to cross. And that uncanny valley, that unsettling feeling you get when something looks almost human, but not quite.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, well, it's rapidly closing. I mean, we are dealing with an internet that is fundamentally altering our shared reality right now.
Wow. Well, welcome to today's deep dive. We are really thrilled you're here with us because we're looking at a raw, incredibly revealing conversation script from 2026.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It really is. It's this completely unfiltered discussion between two individuals who are just, trying to navigate this absolutely chaotic modern tech landscape.
No corporate jargon, no PR spin.
Exactly. And our mission today is to cut through that deafening noise of the sudden overnight AI experts.
Yeah.
We want to figure out the mechanics of what is actually happening to your job, your internet, and frankly, your reality.
Right. And what's really great about this source is that it's a literal conversation between two regular people.
Yeah.
Which perfectly mirrors the everyday conversations you were probably having in your own life right now, just trying to figure it all out.
100%. Okay, let's unpack this. Because the first major observation from the source is just this sudden explosion of self-proclaimed experts.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And it leads to this universal panicked question everyone is asking, which is, which AI tool am I supposed to use?
Right. And what's fascinating here is how fast that shifted. I mean, just last year, the global focus was entirely on one singular tool.
ChatGPT, right?
Exactly. You learned ChatGPT, you felt empowered, you were like ahead of the curve.
You felt like a genius.
Right. But today, we are looking at a landscape where over 50 new AI tools are launching every single week.
50. Every single week. I mean, I want you to think about what that actually does to a person's brain.
It's paralyzing.
It is. It's like, imagine walking into a massive mega supermarket just because you need to buy a loaf of bread.
Okay, yeah.
But when you get to the aisle, you're confronted with like 500 different variations of bread.
And you just freeze.
Exactly. You sit down at your desk to draft a project proposal. And instead of just opening a Word document like you did 2 years ago, you're hit with this barrage of choices.
Should you use Claude? Should you use an AI agent to scrape the web?
All right. Or maybe that new Chrome extension that just launched yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And so you spend 45 minutes researching tools and comparing pricing tiers.
Testing prompts.
Yeah. And suddenly an hour goes by and you haven't written a single word of your proposal. So does this explosion of tools actually hinder the average person's productivity? Are we just spending more time searching than working?
Well, yeah. You've essentially substituted the friction of doing the work with the friction of selecting the tool.
Wow. That's a great way to put it.
It's a massive psychological shift, honestly. When a technology is singular, it's a lever. It amplifies your effort.
Makes you stronger.
Right. But when it fractures into thousands of these micro tools, it creates profound decision fatigue. The cognitive load required to evaluate, select, and learn 50 new tools a week. It's completely unsustainable for the human brain.
And people mistake the awareness of these tools for actual mastery.
Well, all the time.
You see someone post a list like top 10 AI tools you need today, and they seem like an absolute genius.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, everyone is just paralyzed by tool selection.
Exactly. Productivity tools are, ironically, becoming one of the largest sources of unproductivity. You're just trapped in this endless evaluation phase.
But, that paralysis doesn't happen in a vacuum. Because while you're sitting there frozen, trying to pick between an AI that writes emails and an AI that summarizes them, you inevitably look over and see someone who has actually figured it out.
And they are moving at a terrifying speed.
Terrifying. Which triggers that ultimate existential anxiety we hear everywhere right now. People are looking at this and thinking, are these things coming for our jobs?
Yeah. And the reality exposed in this discussion is pretty unambiguous. Yes.
Yeah.
It is already replacing work, especially repetitive foundational tasks. The speed multiplier is just undeniable.
The source mentions that one person equipped with AI can now do the work of 5 people, right?
Exactly. But it's really important to contextualize this not just as job loss, but as job transformation.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though. I have to push back on that optimism a bit.
Go ahead.
Because the corporate spin we constantly hear is, AI won't replace you. A person using AI will replace
Right,
you.
motivational poster version?
Exactly. It sounds so empowering. But let's look at the raw math here. If one person using AI does the work of 5 people, doesn't that inherently mean 4 people are left without work?
Yeah, that's the uncomfortable tension we have to face.
Because if a single marketing manager can suddenly produce the output of a 5-person team, the company isn't going to just expand their output by 5 times to be nice. They're going to let 4 people go.
The math doesn't lie. You really can't just gloss over the displacement.
No, you can't.
But when we talk about one person doing the work of 5, we have to look at the mechanics of how that speed multiplier actually functions. It's not just that they write a little faster.
Right.
It's about compounding automations.
Okay, walk me through that.
Yeah.
What does a compounding automation actually look like for that single person doing the work of 5?
Well, imagine a standard knowledge worker. A massive layer of their job is just repetition, right? Pulling data from one software, formatting it into a spreadsheet, drafting a summary, emailing it out. Previously, that was an entire afternoon's work.
Yeah, easily.
Now, a person who truly understands these systems sets up an API chain. They instruct an AI to automatically scrape the data at 9 a.m., feed it into a language model to extract key insights, and draft the email.
So they aren't even doing the typing anymore.
Exactly. The human becomes an editor, a curator. They're the air traffic controller of artificial intelligence. The AI strips away the repetitive layer, but the 5x speed comes from the human knowing how to architect that automated assembly line.
Okay, so the distinction between repetitive replacement and human-directed speed is really what dictates career survival right now.
Precisely. You have to be the director.
Which naturally leads to the next thought everyone has. If an individual suddenly realizes they hold the productive power of a 5-person team in their laptop, their immediate thought is capitalization.
Oh, absolutely. It's a gold rush.
A massive gold rush. How do I make money off this multiplier?
And that is the defining characteristic of the 2026 internet in this source. Everyone is just trying to turn AI into immediate revenue.
Yeah, the specific hustles are everywhere. Automated YouTube channels, faceless videos.
AI-generated advertising, thousands of people setting up AI agencies from their bedrooms.
Right. But here is the devastating irony to me. Millions of people are rushing to monetize this. But despite all this hustle, most people still don't even know how to write a proper prompt.
It's so true.
It's like someone trying to launch a space exploration agency, but they're trying to fly the spaceship by just honking the horn.
That's a great analogy.
Like they don't know what any of the buttons do. Are people just getting caught up in the monetization hype without mastering the basic communication needed to actually talk to these machines?
Yes. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's a staggering irony. Effective prompting is the foundational skill of this era.
Right.
It's the new coding. It is the absolute bedrock of digital literacy, yet it is treated as this total afterthought. People assume the AI is a magic 8-ball.
Yeah, or a mind reader. I mean, if you just yell, "be funny," at an AI, you're going to get the most generic, chaotic output imaginable.
Because you aren't providing constraints. An AI language model is fundamentally a predictive engine.
A probability matrix, basically.
Exactly. It's calculating the most likely next word. When you give it a short, vague prompt, the probability matrix is infinitely wide. It defaults to the most average, generic response possible.
Because that's the statistical center.
Right. But when you apply constraints, when you give it a backstory, a clear motivation, a specific audience, you are collapsing that probability matrix.
You're forcing it down a narrow corridor.
Yes, you are programming its probability. That is how you extract a transformative output rather than a mediocre one. You have to know how to hold the shovel in this gold rush.
But the vast majority of people don't know how to hold the shovel. So they're getting that generic, mediocre output, and they are just flooding the internet with it.
Which brings us to a structural crisis.
Yeah, the blurring of reality, the flood of people trying to monetize this low-effort AI content leads to huge questions about the internet itself.
Like, who is paying for this, and can we even tell what is real anymore?
Exactly. The source dives into the ongoing debate about whether AI content is even getting monetized on platforms like YouTube anymore. And there's that staggering statistic again. Half the internet is already AI generated.
And the visual leap is moving so fast that AI videos now look almost real.
Almost indistinguishable.
Yeah.
Give it another year and nobody will know what is fake anymore.
This raises an important question regarding trust. The source mentions this as the truly scary part. How an internet populated by synthetic, hyper-realistic content fundamentally alters human perception.
It changes how we consume information entirely.
Right. Since the dawn of the digital age, we have operated on the assumption that seeing is believing.
Right. A photo is proof.
But now you almost have to assume a digital artifact is synthetic until proven real.
Wait, let me push back on that timeline for a second. If half the internet is already AI generated today and the videos already look real, are we actually waiting for a future crisis? Or are we already past the point of no return for digital truth?
I think we already passed it. The baseline assumption today must be skepticism. The constant vigilance required to just exist on the internet is deeply exhausting for the human brain.
It's completely exhausting. You have to assume everything is a potential trap.
Yeah, and given that scary reality, the deep dive source makes one thing incredibly clear. Ignoring AI right now is the biggest mistake you can make.
Right. Because you just want to unplug,
Yeah.
You want to opt out of the synthetic web, but you can't.
No, it's no longer future technology. It is already running the internet.
The algorithms deciding your emails, the logistics software, it's all integrated. So what does this all mean?
Well,
That means burying your head in the sand is not a viable strategy. You have to learn to navigate this synthetic web.
exactly. And I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over that builds on all of this data.
Let's hear it.
So the source notes that half the internet is already AI generated, right?
Right.
And we know that AI models require vast amounts of internet data to train and get smarter.
Oh, I see where this is going.
If half that data is now generated by AI, are we rapidly approaching a future where AI is exclusively training on its own hallucinations?
Like a photocopy of a photocopy.
Exactly. It's called model collapse. The human eccentricity is washed out, and the output becomes flatter and more repetitive.
So the machines are only talking to themselves.
Yes. And what happens to human knowledge when it's trapped underneath a thick layer of automated mediocrity?
Wow. That is an incredibly provocative thought to end on. You really have to actively train your own mind to navigate this, because the feedback loop is closing. Look closely at the tools you use and the reality you're consuming. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Good luck out there.